happens. Skip happens. Skip happens. Skip happens.
Welcome to the podcast. My name's Skip Clark, Skip Happens podcast host, along with Skip Happens podcast co-host Deb Lamphere, president and founder of the official country music fan club. This is the podcast that will bring you the stories. We will interview the incredible up-and-coming artists out of Music City. Also, we chat with the big stars, and we talk about their journey to stardom. We also love talking to entrepreneurs. Not only that, it's people like you and I. That's all. And just remember, Skip happens. So get over it. Let's get right to the podcast. Get over it. That's all. Hey, everybody. How are you? Skip Clark, host of Skip Happens, and along with Deb Lamphere, as we mentioned, as the big guy said, the president and founder of the Country Music Fan Club. And here we are. It's another fun podcast. As you know, we chat a lot with the new and up-and-coming artists and also some of the well-established artists. And we have a young lady here with us tonight. You may recognize her. I want to say maybe going back 4 or 5 years, American Idol. Was it longer than that? I don't know. I have to put it all together. It was season 14.
We have to add.
Yep. Okay.
Aired in 2015. So I guess just almost 6 years ago. Wow.
All right. Well, it's Alison Elena, everybody. There she is.
Welcome. And who is with you as well there?
Good friend and guitar player, Mr. Jesse Widener.
Hi, Jesse. Welcome.
Hey, Jesse. It's good to see you both. Elena, Alice, I called you Elena. I told you I suck with names. It's going to happen a lot tonight now that we've talked about that. But, Alison, tell us, where are you? Describe your surroundings.
We are in Nashville. We are at Jesse's house. Actually, just bought it, right? New house.
Yeah, like not that long ago.
Good old East Nashville. We're just hanging out. Good old Tuesday night.
Cool. And this is what you do on a Tuesday night in Nashville right now.
It is now. Yeah, I feel like we probably would have been playing a show this time last year, but now we play to our computer. So,
as with the rest of the music world.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start right from the beginning. Tell us a little bit more about you, Alison.
So I'm originally from Beacon, New York, which I know you guys are in New York too. It's a tiny little town, right? About an hour outside New York City. And I just grew up singing country music, and my mom was a big country music fan. And so I've been singing since I was about 3. And then when I was 6, I started like performing and doing shows. And then it was pretty much all I ever did. So yeah, it was
So
just.
where do you perform at 6 years old?
Yeah. I did I think the first performance I had, I sang like the national anthem for our AAA baseball team. It was the Hudson Valley Renegades. I was almost 6, I think. It was like the summer before 6, but I was little. But yeah, no, I think it was all I ever did and all I ever wanted to do. So I think I was just kind of like waiting until I was old enough to actually do it,
At the age of 6, do you remember that like it was yesterday?
I have a weird memory in general, but I do remember those little things they're moments. Like, so I think that stadium holds like 7,000. And so for someone that little to step out in front of that many people, you don't forget it. And
who was the AAA team?
It's the Hudson Valley Renegades.
Okay. And who was their parent team?
I don't know.
I don't know. It was a while ago. That was a long time ago. It could have changed like 3 or 4 times between now and then.
I was going to say, if you did remember that, I would be thoroughly impressed.
I wouldn't have even known what that meant at that point. So yeah, it was definitely.
I always have baseballs here. So
now it's Tampa Bay, but I mean, if it could have changed, I don't know.
I got you. So, okay. So you remember that. Were you scared at the age of 6 to get out there in front of maybe a few thousand people and sing the national anthem, which is one of the hardest songs to perform in front of anybody, to perform in general anyways, to get it right?
I just loved it so much at that age, and I still do. So I don't really get nervous or scared when I go on stage because I love doing it, And the national anthem has always been one of I think it was because it was one of the first songs I ever learned. It's always been just such a home base for me. And I love going back. And I've actually been able to sing the national anthem at some awesome places. So I sang it for a Mets game a few years ago. And then just about 3 years ago, I sang for Bills Patriots game up in Buffalo too. So New York and national anthems are definitely a big part of my heart.
Have you ever done it in Syracuse?
I haven't. I don't think I have.
But you've been through Syracuse.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Very
So,
good.
Tim,
Together.
yeah, there. We have a little bit of a delay, so I'll have to watch for that when we're talking. I would say, to me, to sing the national anthem anywhere is a huge honor.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
It's always like one of my favorites to do, and it's always, I mean, the events that they're surrounded by obviously are always a great crowd, and I love it.
Go ahead, Deb.
No, I was gonna say one day we'll probably hear her singing it at the Super Bowl. Don't be surprised. Jesse has high hopes.
So after doing the Bills game, it was unreal. Like, singing NFL is amazing. So I would love to do the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh, I'd be like a wreck.
Jesse just said it seems stressful.
You gotta like dance and stuff too.
Yeah, no.
That's the halftime show.
We'll just do the end. That works.
Who's doing the halftime? Oh, it's The Weeknd. The Weeknd is doing the halftime show at the Super Bowl this year. So
I don't know them.
Yeah.
no, it's him.
Him is he country?
Oh no.
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 Okay.
Far from it. Okay. So tell us about your journey to American Idol and how all that went, and where did you end up?
So I obviously grew up watching the show, and I think from when I was like 7 or 8, whenever it was that Kelly Clarkson won, I knew I was doing it. And when I was 15, I auditioned, and it was the first year they had dropped the age, but I didn't make it to the judges. And so by the time I think I was 19 when it was like 4 years later that it took me to go back and back and back. And I finally made it to the judges, and it was the best experience. I actually auditioned here in Nashville instead of New York. All the previous times before that had been in New York, and Nashville is just, in general, such a more laid back place than New York is. But it really showed in that experience. And it was crazy. We weren't even going to audition. My brother was getting married that summer, and it was like the dates didn't line up. And so it was like me having to accept that this is the one year that I can't try and whatever. And then my brother, who actually lived as well, needed someone to watch his house and watch his dog while he went on his honeymoon. So we literally left my brother's wedding in New York, drove to Nashville, and then auditioned like the next day.
Oh, wow.
It just seemed like everything lined up, and it was perfect. So the judges, and had amazing response from them, and got, the big 3 yeses and the golden ticket, and it was awesome. It was like dream come true for 8-year-old Allie, for sure.
Wow. 8 years old. No. Were you?
No.
No, you couldn't have been. I thought you said 8-year-old. Okay.
She dreamed about it at 8 years old.
I got you.
And she knew back then, which amazes me still to this moment as we're talking, that from the time you said earlier you were 3 years old, then 6 years old performing, now you're 8 years old, and to have this dream and desire in your heart at such a young age, and you're pursued it, just still amazes me that was something that was such a passion for you.
Yeah, I never changed my mind, which was odd because I'm the most indecisive human alive. If you know me, it's bad. But I mean, I don't think I ever pictured myself doing anything else. I feel like everyone goes through those, like, well, I want to be a teacher, or I want to be a doctor, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna sing. I'm gonna figure it out. So
that's amazing.
I was really lucky that I had like a really supportive family and friends that encouraged that and didn't say like, well, no, you should go, figure something else out. They said I could do what I wanted. So that was what I wanted to do.
Absolutely. You set your goals and you go for them. That's all. You don't stop until you get it. How was it in front of the judges? You had Keith Urban, and who were the other two?
It was Keith Urban, Harry Connick Jr., and J-Lo.
Oh my God. I just would have fainted looking at Keith Urban and Harry Connick Jr. I wouldn't have been able to do anything.
Joke walking in the room. J-Lo's beautiful. Like unreal beautiful though. Yeah. And it was more scary than nerve-wracking, honestly. Like, it's a weird word to use, like not nervous. I was scared. But it is just being in front of them and knowing that you're on TV, and knowing that like, oh, if they don't like me and they make fun of me right now, millions of people are going to see it. So, but I was lucky. I mean, they liked me, which was great. And it just went so well. So
And you got the ticket to go to Nashville or to go to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And when you got that ticket, when they told you you're going to Hollywood, describe that feeling.
It's unreal. I mean, obviously, I think you kind of can see it coming, saying to you. And they really liked me. They gave me like great compliments. So I was hoping that that they were going to say yes and not be like, well, actually, but it was, I think Keith Urban was the first one. He was like, well, I say yes. And then the other two were like, yep. And then Harry Connick Jr. handed me the ticket and I was like, ah. So I think I literally like jumped up and down. Like it was, yeah.
We'll have to go back.
That if you Google it, because they aired my audition, they clipped literally like me jumping. And I just said like, oh my God, thanks. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And then you run out of the room and mom and dad are standing there and everybody, you give it, Ryan Seacrest is out there, everybody gets a hug and that's that.
That was also the very funny part of the experience because I don't know what had happened. There just must have been like a miscommunication on the walkies that they didn't know I was coming out yet. And so I ran out of the door and I swung the door open and I hit Ryan. And I was like, oh, hi. And he goes, hi. And I'm here and I'm like, where's my family? And I'm just like by myself. And I could see I had my mom and my best friend with me and they were behind the camera and they were like, can we run in the shot? What do we do now? And he was like, congrats. I was like, thanks. Where's my mom? Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know you. So yeah, but it's funny in the clip too, you can see he goes, hi. And I go, hi. And then you see my mom come in. I was like, okay. But yeah, all of those just made the experience so much better.
Do you still look at the clip every once in a while to bring back those memories?
I love it. And I'd always like on the memories on like your Facebook and things like that, they always come up. And a lot from Hollywood Week and everything. But I love it. It's funny to go back. And I think I look so young in it. But I don't think I sound that different, which is good, I guess. So yeah.
That's awesome.
So what happens after you get to Hollywood? What's that process? I guess a little behind the scenes, because I kind of like to know behind the scenes. Do they throw you like all in a house or you all get your own lavish hotel rooms? How does that work?
Oh, we had roommates, but we stayed in the most amazing hotel I've ever stayed in, which was awesome. I remember walking in being like, wow, I really hope one day I get to stay in another one of these. But yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. And you get a roommate and it's really cool. And honestly, I just remember feeling like I was in a movie, because it was like scheduled meals in like this big cafeteria and you walk in and there's all of these people. The people that you had auditioned with in your state, you recognized. And there was only like, I think 12 of us or something like that from Nashville that went to Hollywood. So by that time, especially after spending like the whole day after the audition filming and, all that stuff, it was like, oh, that's my safe zone. I need to go to that lunch table, and like, it was like I was in like 7th grade, but in a movie all over again. Like, but it was fun time. And then a lot of it is like really early calls and then waiting in films and then really late performances. But I don't think you honestly, you don't notice. Like, you don't notice you're tired until you look down and you're like, oh, it's 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh. That's
so do you really work, like you're saying, it's long days? I think a couple times when we listen to the artists talk on the show or even after the fact, they'd be like, yeah, we'd be rehearsing 10 hours a day. I mean, are you really, how much of that are you rehearsing? And then how much of that they're filming different scenes for different things?
I mean, a lot of it is like hurry up and wait, which all of the entertainment industry. But a lot of, I mean, we had the ability. So like we could rehearse a lot on our own if we needed to or wanted to. And then just throughout the day, it is a lot of like, hey, you need to come do this segment. Hey, you need to come talk to these people. Hey, we need to film you doing this. So
okay.
Busy, but I mean, there was still a lot of downtime.
Wow.
That's not great.
Yeah, a lot of what, as viewers on this side of things, there's a lot that people don't understand what goes on. And you're on the go, but there's also a lot of waiting too. So
that was a cool part for me, is like, as someone who watched the show, being able to see like, oh, this is this part. Oh, this is going to be this part. You know what I mean? And just the way they like make everything look like it's one day or, a few hours. I was like, oh, okay, this makes a lot more sense. So that was cool for me, just as like a fan of the show before I was there, just to kind of see how it came together.
Let me ask you, does it really, like on television, when we see the performers on the stage, we see all the people all around. And is it really like that, or how do they film that?
I mean, we were in the audience the entire time as people. As the other contestants were going, we were always in the audience. So it was nice. You had you were never by yourself, or you were never singing to an empty room, which honestly I have learned in 2020. I love crowds. The bigger the crowd for me, the better. I love being in front of people. But yeah, I would much rather sing to people than an empty room for sure.
Yeah. On that note, with this whole pandemic,
yeah.
how is all that working for you? I would assume you've done some Facebook Lives. Maybe you've done some takeovers. I know you've been on a few radio stations some of my friends work at. So how is all that doing it just without an audience? Is it hard?
It's just weird, honestly. It's weird because, I feel like we go off cues, and maybe you can chime in on this too. I feel like we go off cues from the audience, right? Watching a song, that's how we know if the song is good, if the song is not good, and the 2 seconds after gives you a minute to breathe and then say, okay, here's the next song, So when you don't have that 2 seconds, you're
yeah, you missed the feedback.
It's weird. Yeah. You're okay, next, and it's also weird. I think you can vibe with a room. And so you don't vibe with a room, just
right.
The energy.
I must say energy. So much of performing is energy, and just not having that live audience there is pretty tough sometimes, but we've all had to adapt.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, in the beginning of all of this, March, April, we were doing, live stream stuff and it was cool. But I think now, even we've gotten out a little bit, like I said, and it's been great to be back. But it's becoming so much more normal now, and I think so that makes it a little bit easier, I think, just because we're receptive. It's not this what are we doing,
It's not new anymore.
Yeah, it's not this new weird thing. And I feel like we don't sit in front of the camera being oh, what do we say? We have a little bit, at least sitting in front of our phones and stuff. So
you're kind of getting used to it. What about your songwriting during the pandemic and all that? How has all that worked out for you?
So I actually surprisingly have wrote some of my favorite songs this year, which is so weird because someone told me once that you can't write about life unless you're living. And I was like, that's so true, because we write about, the heartbreaks and the love songs and the, all of this stuff. And then we didn't do any, we weren't doing anything in 2020, so.
I had no heartbreaks. We didn't have any love going on.
We should have all happy songs, right?
Running into a bar when I'm not going. So that was weird, but honestly, I feel like I was writing so much because that was all there was to do. I went back to New York to quarantine for a lot of it. And I just remember it was so shut down. It was every morning. I would literally get up, work out, shower, and then just sit with my guitar on the porch every day. And I had a lot of co-writes over Zoom. We got really good at that, which was great too, because now I feel like it's opened this door for usually we don't write half of December because we're all home, but it's well, now we know we can write a good song over Zoom. So that's been awesome because it's kept us working. But yeah, I think I think I've gotten better honestly at writing 2020 because it's just kind of forced us to dig into songwriting.
You were talking about some of the real life events and writing songs like that, but let's take it back a little bit. Did you have a song? Was it Practice?
Yes.
All right. Was that about that? I think I read that was about a real life experience.
Yeah, that was my
heartbreak.
So also going into writes, it's weird because you never know who in the room is going to have the story that day to write. And I had a note in my phone for probably about a year that said, "You're finally the man I need you to be." And we were talking. I had that right with two of my really good friends, Delaney Grant and Hara Lynn. We were talking and just kind of going around the table, and I was telling them this story about this heartbreak and how this guy now is this great guy. And I just kept saying, I don't understand why he couldn't do that for me. Why wasn't he that person for me? And why does she get this great guy? And Hara said, well, it's just he had to practice on you. And we were that's okay. That's what we're writing. That's the hook, That's it. Sometimes you don't know. Yeah. You don't know where it's going to come from, but yeah. And sometimes it is this super heartfelt, true story. And then sometimes it's not. Sometimes you say, hey, I think this would be a cool story. Let's figure out, let's imaginary write this story and then write the song.
So how did you, the folks that you co-wrote the song with? Are they people that you intended to write with, or did it just happen to come up that you were all together? And how does that work? Because you have people.
Yeah, sometimes it's both. So I mean, we schedule, like you have co-write scheduled, and it is like this job atmosphere. But sometimes when you're friends with your co-writers, I think like hanging out one night turns into like, let's write. Me and Delaney do that a lot. We're really good friends and we hang out a lot. And a lot of times it'll be like us supposed to be watching a movie and drinking wine, and then it's like, oh wait, actually I'm really mad at this. Let's talk about it. Let's write it. But yeah, I think
I love it. I love it.
I was cranking that before we hopped on. So.
Oh, yeah.
And you have a new song, I think, right? That was just released. Did it come out on Friday?
It did. It's called Jean Jacket. I wrote it with Delaney Grant and Kaylin Robertson. And yeah, that was a super fun one. So that Delaney came in and she was like, you know how you keep stuff from your ex? And we were like, what do you mean? And she was like, like a good sweatshirt or like a good jacket. And we were like, yeah, like people definitely do that. And she was like, I think we should write that. We were like, okay, that's cool. Like what are we keeping? We're like, let's keep the jean jacket. And so that's kind of like where it came from.
I saw the picture online of all the clothes all over the floor in that photo shoot, and I went,
jackets.
It's like my room. It was just like jeans and jackets and everything else. So I said, oh, I can relate to that.
Yeah, those were actually that's funny you say that. We actually have the photographer that did that in the room with us. So she's here.
I loved it.
Hi.
Can't see her. This over in the corner.
Just off camera.
Yes.
That's
but
right. Yep.
The genius behind all that. And it was fun. Actually, a lot of those jackets were the three of ours. So
it's amazing how you can have something come to life with just props that are just laying around that you don't even realize it.
My brother had just gotten that couch and it was like brand new. And I was like, it's such a good color. Let's use it. And so their brains put together made it. I mean, I love the cover. I think it came out great. So,
and a good photographer like you have there really makes it stand out. So yeah. And that's what, that's part of the team. When you think about it, it's people that people that you network with, and the people that just help you bring it all together. It's so anyways, I see Jesse's got the guitar there.
Ready.
And he's like, I want to play.
We're ready for a song now anyways, right, Skip?
Yeah, I am. I'd love to hear something. We're talking with Alison Elena tonight. She's, of course, years ago on American Idol and now living in Nashville. And she's coming out with some music, and her song just hit the radio just not too long ago. So anyways, we're going to hear some music from her right now. It's all on Skip Happens. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think we'll start with that one. We're just going to go right in. So this is Jean Jacket. It just came out last weekend. It's available everywhere. So hopefully you like it and go check it out.
Awesome.
10 outfits in, I'm still not ready. Can't see the floor through this mess I'm making. Back of my closet, forgot I had it. Fits me just right, oversized. Yeah, I rock it, and I don't care what all my friends say. It looks too good on me to throw away. That classic jean jacket you threw on my couch, tearing t-shirts. Yeah, we were too busy making out. I don't keep because I miss you. I don't need attention from you. I've always wanted to leave my classic jean jacket. Yeah. The way it's washed out brings out my blue eyes. I dress it up with my favorite knee highs. At least you were good for something, and I wear it better than you ever did. That classic jean jacket you threw on my couch, tearing tears. Yeah, we were too busy making out. I don't keep because I miss you. thinking. It's not what you're thinking. You're not the reason I love this. Classic jean jacket you threw on my couch, staring t-shirts. Yeah, we were too busy making out. I don't keep because I miss you. I don't need attention from you. I've always wanted to leave like classic jean jacket. Yeah, I've always wanted to leave like classic jean jacket.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. I love your voice. You kind of,
I do too.
I don't know how to describe it. It's just really, it's so full. Yeah. It's,
It is hard to describe a voice, but you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you so much. I will take both of those words happily.
Well, it's so different when you hear the artist. Like, I was listening to your music on Spotify, so all of your instruments are there and all of your whatever goes into it, the editing and the production and all that. And here we just have all natural. And when someone sings, you know, without all of the technology and can sound so good, we will definitely be looking for you at the Super Bowl national anthem one day. That's for sure.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, I love like going back to like acoustic stuff. I think that's why I fell in love with country music, is because you can hear them and you can hear saying, and I've always wanted to do that. So I mean, I love going back to acoustic stuff. But the producer I work with is amazing. His name's Zach Mano, and he just like totally took that song and brought it to life. So I'm so happy with the full version as well.
Yeah, I've heard it, and it's excellent, no doubt. And hearing the acoustic side, we hear that a lot, of course, whether you're on an actual radio tour and you're in the studio, or, you know, we have you here on a podcast, which is pretty much the way that life is right now and the way we're doing things. So to hear the acoustic side is pretty cool. But you do have a full band. I've seen a picture of you with your full band.
Yeah.
Are these guys you play with right along on a regular basis, or just as needed, or?
Pretty much as needed, just because, I mean, a lot of times, I feel like a lot of the stuff we do in Nashville, at least, is very acoustic. I used to, when I played back in New York a lot, we had a full band and we were playing all the time. And it was awesome and I loved it. But after moving here, you just don't really get the opportunity to do as many full band shows. But we have like the same group of guys that we always call, and they're awesome.
I love it. You know, let me ask you, I know how I would describe your music. How would you describe your music?
I think that I try to stay in a very like 2000s country.
Okay.
I love the radio country right now, but I think that my heart is. So I try to stay a little bit more of that vibe, but I love honest songwriting and I love relatable songwriting, but I love vocals too. I think that I'm a singer first and foremost. And so I love like a good high note in there, you know, anything that you could, that I feel like I like to sing, you know, is always where I feel like I go. I feel like, especially when we write too, they're always like, all right, yeah, Allie's going to throw in some random note. And I'm like, yeah. Kind of where I end up. But I mean, I love like Carrie Underwood, and I grew up on Sarah Evans and Martina McBride. And so I think those are kind of where I get a lot of my vocal inspiration stuff. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I'm kind of my own thing, but I try to stay a little bit more classic, quote unquote.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Martina. We had Martina on the podcast here a few months ago talking about her Songland experience and all that, and the song that came out of that, which was good, and just hearing how she describes her music, and just like you just described your music to us, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see what an artist really thinks about their own music. So.
Yeah, I think as a songwriter, you can write anyone's story, but as an artist, you always want to put out yours, you know? And I think I have so many songs that even I love, but I wouldn't see myself putting out just because I don't think that I believe in it as much. But I mean, I've been lucky to be able to say like, oh, I love this song, I want to put it out, I believe in this song, or like this song has a really special place to me. And those are the ones that I put out like as an artist. So
what about your business side? Are you making all the decisions yourself? Are you doing it all yourself? Because it's not only you being an artist, but you are a business.
Yeah, that is the difficult thing, especially about being an independent artist, is you are all on yourself and you're all on your own dime, which is not always the best. But I think like what you were saying earlier, it's building the team. You know what I mean? It's building the team now and getting a group of people that you believe in and that believe in you to work with you. And which I've like done really well, which I'm really happy about. I mean, I have Jesse, who is an amazing guitar player, and I'm so lucky that we're also friends, you know? And then we have Emily, who, again, having the visual creative side behind it is half of the work as an artist, you know?
Is Emily the photographer?
Yes, Emily's the photographer.
Is it Emily Jean?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emily April is all her tags.
Oh, okay. All right. Because we interviewed an artist. I think it might have been Emily Jean, and she was a photographer.
Oh, cool.
So that was a while ago, but so I didn't know.
She's just a photographer, but yeah, coming to shows and the documentation that I'm always like, oh crap, I wish we got that. She's like, I got it. So, you know, yeah. And I have like a really great publicist that I work with. So it's just like, it's building the team now, but it's hard. It's as an indie, it's definitely hard.
Oh.
And
the rewards will pay off though. Sorry,
yeah.
Scott.
No, go ahead, Deb.
Just as an independent, you do get to make your own decisions, which is awesome. And you do get to decide where you want to go, how you want to do it, what songs you want to release and all that. But on the flip side, it is just a lot more work because you are in the driver's seat and you do have to forge forward on how and where you want things to go.
Yeah.
So
I think like it is difficult, but it is nice because I've been in situations before where it's like, oh, well, you should be blonde or you should, you know, do this. I'm
right.
Like, not me though. I can't, you know?
You want to.
So it's nice. It is like kind of that the beauty of being an independent artist is kind of getting to make that decision for yourself, which is nice.
Yeah, just be you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's singing the songs you want to sing and singing things that I am happy my name is on, you know?
Exactly. How did you meet Jesse?
So Jesse is actually good friends with my brother. And when I here, I'm a very bad guitar player, very bad. But I like dabble enough where I was getting through rights and things like that. And Sean had just mentioned, he was like, you know that Jesse plays guitar like amazing, right? And I was like, no, why did I not know that? And then we started playing.
And
so how'd you get Jesse to move to Nashville? He must be from New York, right?
So my brother also lives in Nashville. And so like when I moved here, it kind of just fell into place. But Jesse was a musician. That's what brought him to Nashville as well.
Yeah, I spent a couple of years out in Los Angeles, you know, with my band, and that was where I was before here. But then, yeah, moving to Nashville in 2012, it felt like the right place. And then she happened to wander in and say, "Hey, do you know how to play guitar? Right? I got some tunes."
Yeah, honestly, he was like coming off of a project, and I was like, "Hey, how about this new project?" So
absolutely,
yeah, so it worked.
I was kind of starving to get out and play a little bit, so
it worked.
Yeah,
it's good company.
Win-win.
Yeah, exactly. You still have the band, Jesse?
No, I'm not. I'm actually,
no. Okay. All right.
That was kind of a former part of my life. I mean, I still, you know, play and kind of write my own stuff, but, you know, happy to be out, like kind of hearing what she brings over. She'll be like, "Hey, I just went to a write, you know, brought back these 3 songs that I co-wrote with, you know, these folks." And it's all great stuff. So it's really fun for me to get to kind of get out and play some stuff and back her up. So,
well, that is also the wonderful thing for me is having someone that actually plays guitar. You know what I mean? Cause like I'll bring and be like, "Hey, here's a G and a C. What can you do with this?" And he's like, yeah, that's what the song should be. So it's awesome to have a musical mind on it.
Awesome. Can we hear another one?
Yes, I would love to. Do you want to do Break It? Cool. So I actually have another song coming out in, I believe, January, February. This was one of those nights that was hanging out with a friend and a bottle of wine that turned into a song. So it's another heartfelt, and I think it was over a year ago that I wrote it, but it's finally, I made the decision that I was like, you know what? I love this song. And sometimes it's hard because you think if you love a song, you don't actually know if it's good, you know, like you're like, "Oh, I love this because I love the story that was behind it," you know, or do I actually like this song?
Right.
But like people that I kept playing it with, and Jesse was also like, "No, this is a good song." So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm really excited for this one to be out too. It's called Break It. And yeah, here you go.
All right.
Great.
calling a cab back to my place, holding my hand, stumbling in, will say tequila's to blame. But I'm just lying, I'm just trying to find an excuse to justify every time I leave the light on for you. I know I shouldn't let you in, I should call it quits, but you know I wouldn't turn you down, walk right out when you give me the look, I just can't. But it's my fault, I just threw away my heart when I let you take it. When I let you take it, I'm letting you break it. I can't hate you, you know I'd love to. I've got no reason. You've been honest, told me straight up, but I won't believe it. Holding on to what could have been, and what I still think we should have been. I know I shouldn't let you in, I should call it quits, but you know I wouldn't turn you down, walk right out when you give me the look, I just can't. But it's my fault, I just threw away my heart when I let you take it. When I let you take it, I'm letting you break it. I keep letting you break it, yeah. Leaving again, calling a cab back to my place. I know how it ends, stumbling in, but I'm the one to blame. I know I shouldn't let you in, I should call it quits, but you know I wouldn't turn you down, walk right out when you give me the look, I just can't. But it's my fault, I just threw away my heart when I let you take it. When I let you take it, I'm letting you break it. I keep letting you break it, yeah. Leaving again, calling a cab.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah. Very nice.
I feel like we got a sneak peek of something.
I think so. Maybe.
I just got a little bit of the track back. So it has an amazing fiddle on it, and I'm so excited. It's going kind of this Dixie chick vibe, and I love it. So I'm super excited.
Were you a fan of the Dixie Chicks?
I was. I honestly like grew up singing Dixie Chicks. And I think they were like a huge inspiration for my musical style as well. Actually, the song I sang for American Idol was Cowboy Take Me Away. So
Okay.
yeah, it's just they've always I love their music. I love their voices. I love everything they do. So they're a big inspiration.
I can hear that. I can hear a little bit of the Dixie Chicks in your singing. So that's why I was asking.
I think that was also my favorite thing about that kind of 2000s country is they all of the women had these beautiful big voices, and so that's what I wanted. You know, I was like, I want to hit that note. I want to sing these big songs, and so it kind of influenced things.
Yeah,
Actually, it's perfect because we the country industry is in a growth spurt for some good female artists.
We need some, so hopefully there's. And I feel like I co-write with majority female artists, and they're all awesome. So they are here. They're in Nashville. They are ready. So I hope the industry is ready for them too.
got to get through this pandemic, and absolutely, I mean, we need more females on the radio. I work in radio, and absolutely, we need that sound.
Yes,
So it's one of the things that we are lacking in country radio. is the female voices. I mean, yes, we have the Mirandas, we have the Carries, we have, we're starting to hear a little more of the Dixie Chicks, or now they're the Chicks, I believe. But we need more. We need more.
There's Kelsey and there's Carly and but there's so many great females in Nashville. Like every time we're out, I feel like I'm like, I don't know how these people are not on bigger stages. So hopefully in the next few years, the radio will.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to thank you for joining us here tonight. It's been great chatting with you, finding out about, you, your life, the Idol side of things, and now you as an artist and a songwriter, and to meet your team. Well, Jesse and your photographer that's over in the corner. I mean, it's all of, these are the people that make you. These are the people that are standing behind you and supporting you and just making it all work. So
yeah, no, I feel like we talk about that too, that we're like, we're laying the groundwork now. So hopefully we'll have a bigger stage together. So
well, it's amazing that you have the patience that you do, because obviously these are crazy circumstances, but like you said back in the beginning, it's given you the opportunity to write. So you've got some really good music coming out, so that when you do get on that stage, you actually have more to offer than maybe you would have had a year ago. So
yeah, I think that's been the weird thing, is like getting back into actually playing out. I've been like, oh, Jesse, here's 30 new songs. Can you
learn them quickly, Jesse? We got shows to do.
You got 2 hours to learn all these.
Yeah.
Hey, do you do you participate in any writers rounds out there, or have you really been low key?
Yeah, I feel like we were like 2-3 nights a week out. Right now, obviously things are kind of, which is, I think our last show was a writer's round as well, about a month ago, which is like the first time getting out again. But yeah, that's, I feel like mostly where you can find us is a lot of the rounds. So.
Okay.
Now, go ahead, Deb.
No, I said I'll just be sure to check it out next time I'm in town.
Absolutely. I post everything on like all my pages. So I'm always the day before and the day of telling people to come out. So if you are in Nashville, come find us. We will be somewhere.
And online, where can they find more about you?
All of my socials are under Alison Elena Music. Alison has one L and Elena spelled with an E. And that's, every social, that's where you go.
Awesome. Before we let you go, I'm going to ask a few questions. You don't mind to maybe dig in, maybe find out a little more about you. And Jesse, you can chime in too if you have to. A little help. We do this as we wrap up our podcast each and every time. We just kind of ask a question. I have 25 questions here in front of me. I ask the artist. No, I'm not going to ask. Look at Jesse's going, oh my God, all 25.
We'll be here all night.
No, it's not going to happen. But I'm going to ask you to pick a number between 1 and 25, and I'll ask that question.
Okay. My favorite number is 18.
18. What's the scariest thing you've done for fun?
I don't know. The scary.
I went parasailing one time. That was pretty scary.
I've done that. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is definitely a good one.
I feel like I've done stupid things for fun, but I don't know that they would be classified as scary.
Sneak out.
Yeah, like maybe.
Without telling your parents.
That's it. No. I don't know. Scariest thing.
No skydiving, huh?
That's on my list. I want to go skydiving. I love stuff like that. So like that's all on my list.
I did that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I do things like that, but I don't know that I would like qualify them as scary. Yeah,
I ever did.
Yeah,
so you're not scared of anything, is what you're saying.
I'm afraid of spiders.
Well, there you go. I hate spiders. Okay. All right, let's do another one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one.
Pick another number there, Alison.
You got a number? 2. Jesse says 2. It's gonna be another.
Do you like a long beard or cleaned up?
Me?
Well, obviously, looking
we'll
at
go both of them. Yeah.
Wait.
I can't grow a beard for my life, so
You're voting.
I have like overnight.
And give me some tips.
It just happens, dude. I'm just telling you. I wake up and
It's age. It's age, Jesse. You don't want to age.
I mean,
easy. All right, let's do another one then. We'll get one.
18.
You did 18.
I'm sorry, 12. That's my second favorite number.
This might fall under that category of 18. Most adventurous thing you've done that your parents don't know about.
I don't.
See?
Yeah. I'm probably not. Okay, so I'm probably not good for those questions because I was a good kid. Like I was very, very good. And I was like, hey, Mom, can I do this? And if she said no, there was
You
a good
can do it.
time. So I was like, okay, fine. Good.
Wow, your mom was very lucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very like logical. I make a lot of lists. I'm very planned and precise. So my mom was always like, no, you can't do that because these 3 bad things. And I was like, you're right. That's a great, that's a great
point.
reason. Okay, I won't.
So you weren't a rebellious teenager?
In a little bit, no.
You are every parent's dream.
I feel like I also, though, I think the music has a lot to do with that because even when I was that age, I was like, oh, well, I have a show tomorrow. I have this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was already very, like, working, you know?
True.
I don't know. I feel like I've definitely done dumb things.
I bet Jesse did something.
I'm really flopping with these questions here tonight. These
Now let's see. I bet you Jesse has something in his back pocket.
I would never talk about the time that my friends and I went out camping on the side of a mountain and climbed up onto a water tower and.
Oh, I've done that.
There you go.
Oh,
I don't think that's scary. I've done that. Yeah, I've done
well,
that.
there you go. All right. Good job, Jesse. Good job.
I'm not scared.
still, that's scary. At night, you're climbing up on a water tower. How high up is that?
I'm
Ours was
high
that.
enough.
Too high.
Yeah.
Too high for my parents to know about it. So.
Yeah.
That's right.
We did that in our hometown, and it was like we didn't think it was a bad idea until we got there, and then we were like, "Oh, this is way higher than it looks from the ground."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then we're like, "Let's not." Let's get out
My
of here."
concern is I'd get up there and I wouldn't be able to get back down. You'd need a fire ladder to come get me. That would be.
You would panic and not be able to move.
That's right.
Yeah.
Even at a younger age.
What's on your phone background right now?
I think my inside is my dogs, and then my outside is me and my grandpa.
Oh,
Aww.
I love that. I'm asking the questions now because the ones you picked, they weren't flying too high here. Favorite drink to fill your solo cup with?
Currently, currently it is the Truly lemonades.
All those are good.
Quarantine, they got me good. It was like 3:00 every day, pack Trulies. But usually I feel like I'm a beer drinker, but no, the Trulies are definitely where I'm at right now.
Okay, just two more. Least favorite exercise.
What was that?
Least favorite exercise. I know what Deb's is.
I'm not like a heavy lifter. I love to work out. I love to be like active, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm more of like a class person than like a lifter. So we'll say like weights.
I'm a class person. Do you remember what mine is, Skip?
Burpees.
Yeah. Oh, they drive me nuts.
She agrees with that one.
Yeah, she always bitches about the burpees.
I do. And it drives me crazy because they end the class with burpees. And I'm always like, can't you do them first and get them out of the way? I cannot stand to end the class with those. That's my big pet peeve.
All right. Well, I won't ask anymore. But and you talked about the skydiving. I did it. If you've never done it, do it. It's awesome, and you will never look at the sky the same again. And you go tandem, you have nothing to worry about. You're at 10,000 feet jumping out of a moving airplane. You're fine.
Cool. That is like super high on my bucket list. So
It was the best experience of my life, and I would do it again in a second. So
that's I hear that from everyone. So maybe next time we'll be chatting, I'll be able to tell you about how I did it.
or if you come through the area, I'll take you.
Absolutely.
We'll work something up at the radio station, and we'll do it. So.
Yeah, for sure. I'm there.
I have to ask Jesse something. So when you went parasailing, how do you plane or helicopter up to the top of a mountain? How does that work? Is that parasailing, or is that with the boat where you're parasailing?
We were just out on a boat. They let you back with a parachute. They let you out and you float over the water. I was just kind of terrified that line was going to break. I mean, I don't know how, but
that I've done that as well, and I think that's the weird part. Is like you can see what's in the water,
Mhm.
and that's why you're like, can you not put me down there?
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll dip you though. Don't they slow the boat down and then you come down when you hit the water, they speed up again?
Yeah, and you're like,
Yep.
I can see that.
Absolutely. I'm like, you control this thing, not me.
Yeah.
It is an
So
experience.
what's the one oh sorry. What's the one where you're jumping off where you're flying through the air like around the mountains? What is that?
That's
What is
like
that?
you got like a
It looks
wingsuit or something
yeah,
like
it looks
that.
like a kite kind of.
That
Yeah.
No, that's
Okay.
messed up. That I would never do.
Okay. Yeah, me neither. Parasailing would probably be my limit.
Like, little,
Oh
like,
yeah,
kite
you got the
looking-
wings and
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
soaring
yeah.
around. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So actually my limit is Soarin' at Disney. Have you been on that? That's my extent of adventure. And they changed the film. And the last time we had gone several years ago, they had just switched over the film and you're going up like to the top of the Eiffel Tower. You really feel like you're there. That's scary. So that'll be my height adventure.
I do not do those things well. I would be hurling. I'm just telling you, it's not a pretty sight. So,
It is kind of funky.
yes.
So anyways.
Yes, Alison Elena, thank you so much for joining us here tonight, finding out about you and hearing a couple of tunes, and Jesse there with you. Thank you for taking the time just to hang with us, just to talk,
Yeah.
to find out about you. And
Yeah, we are happy to be here. So
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
hopefully we'll see you again.
oh yeah, absolutely. And what's that, Deb? You were going to say something?
Oh, I was going to say, when you get a chance, like the page for the Country Music Fan Club. We will be following you as well. And when you have new music and when you're out touring or singing somewhere, we'll be sure to make sure the audience knows about it and get some new fans out in front of you.
Yes, I would love that. Thank you.
Yes, make sure you do that because Deb spends a lot of time in Nashville and she has a lot of friends there. So that whole connection, all the networking, all that works out well. So
Hopefully, one day in Nashville.
Yep, she was
Yeah.
there.
Well, my son lives there, actually.
Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, so then you have to come back. Perfect.
So I'll be back. And he's got a great group of friends. So I have an instant audience for you. No. they just love all the new talent that comes across. So
All right.
anyways, thank you so much for joining us.
Alison Elena, everybody, right here on Skip Happens podcast. And just another great night, a great conversation, a very talented young lady. Make sure you look her up online and go to the website and all the socials. And Jesse, a big thank you to you as well. And it's just, part of the team and makes it all work. So good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Alison, Jesse, peace. Take care.
Peace. Thank you.
All right.